Okay, we are going to talk about the Desmos calculator. This is the calculator you will be using for your assignments, for assessments this entire school year. If you are face-to-face, we will most likely also have you continue using this calculator just so that it's automatically built into your iPad itself. So our first step is going to be to go to Manager and make sure the app's downloaded, then we'll open it. So we're going to first go to Manager, which is this app that looks like a little sideways Wi-Fi, and you need to look at My Apps. Then we're going to search Desmos. Two apps should pop up. We're going to download the green one, which is right here. So we click reinstall/update, and then it downloads it for you. I already had it, so it was just updating. This is what it looks like. We're going to talk through some of the features, then we'll do some practice, and I'll show you how you can split your screen. So to access the keyboard, you're going to push that little keyboard symbol in the bottom left of your screen when you open the Desmos app. To get any sort of power, so if you're trying to say 2 squared or 4 squared or 4 to the third power, any whole number with that exponent at the top right, you're going to use that A to the power of B. That is how we get that power button. Square roots are that button right there. So you would, if you want to take the square root of 100, you would push that button and then type 100 and it gives you your answer. If you need to use pi, you can use that button for pi and it will, that little symbol includes all of its infinite digits, or you can always use 3.14. Directions should guide you. When we are dealing with fractions, you're going to just use division symbols. So if we need to say 1/4, you're going to type in actually 1 divided by 4 and it will create the fraction for you. But remember that fractions are just division. They're just a way to represent it. And you will get a simplified decimal back. If you need to make that decimal into a fraction, you're going to click that blue circle and it will convert your decimal answer to a fraction. And if you don't want that simplified fraction but you want a decimal, you just click it again. If you are doing a whole worksheet and you're done, you've taken a picture of that to show that you typed it into Desmos for your work, then you can tap that little gear symbol and you can delete all to clear the screen. Now we're going to practice. So to split screen, you're going to slowly pull up from the bottom of your screen and you get a little toolbar here. To split screen, you're going to click on that Desmos app and then you just kind of drag it off to the side. This didn't split my screen, but it added it to my screen. If that pops up, you just hold it and drag to the right, and now we have a split screen. So I'm going to work through these with you. You should be able to either tap the keyboard or just tap into one of these boxes to bring the keyboard up. And we're going to do number 1. So we're just going to do 12 and 35 hundredths. I'm just tapping the numbers like a normal calculator. Minus. And then we put our parentheses from this little left side section of our Desmos calculator, -2 and 4/10. Close it, and you see that it already gives us our answer. We don't need to push this equal sign. That will take our answer away. So you just type the expression. You can also push this blue enter arrow so that you move on to the next line and you see that answer as 14 and 75 hundredths. For number 2, when we have mixed numbers, where it's a whole number and a fraction, you're going to first type in your fraction using that division button. So I'm going to add 1/2. And then I can either arrow over to the left or just tap to the left of that fraction to add our whole number. So I have 3.5 minus, same thing here. We're going to add our fraction first, tap to be in front of them, type the 1. We get our decimal answer. But say I said in the instructions it must be a simplified fraction or mixed number. We tap that blue circle and we get a simplified improper fraction. Improper fractions are okay. We do not require you to convert to mixed numbers. For number 3, we just type it in as we see it, so -72 plus -13, and it gives us our answer right there. We're going to move to the next line using this blue arrow. Square root 50,625. We tap the square root symbol first and then type in the number we want the square root of to get 225. Blue arrow to go to the next box. Remember, this is very important. There's not a fraction button. You just use division. You use that division symbol to get your fraction bar. And then notice that if I just started putting plus here, it keeps it in that same space. So we need to tap to the right of our fraction or use this right arrow to get out from under the fraction and then add the plus sign. Then we do 2 divided by 3 to get 2/3. We get our decimal answer, or by tapping this blue circle, our simplified fraction. And then our last problem here is just 3 12/100 plus 8/10. And again, we don't have to push this equal sign. We don't need that equal sign. It just automatically gives us our answer. Okay, so that's how you use Desmos. To close that, we just do that. And that's the end of your calculator training. Feel free to play around with this over the weekend. You will be able to split your screen during our quizzes and tests and use the Desmos calculator while completing your assessment. You may also split your screen when working on notes, practice assignments, or other activities to utilize this tool.